Most people turn 18 and they stay broke for years. Not because they're lazy, but because no one tells them what to actually do, you know? They don't have any sort of guidance. If I had turned 18 today, here's exactly what I would do. What's up, guys? It's Rick. Like always, I'm driving around, you know, trying to do my best to help everyone out. So today we're going to be talking about 18-year-olds and try to guide them through the best financial way possible. And that way they get a head start in life. Step number 1 is going to be to open your first checking and or savings account wherever you choose, you prefer. Wells Fargo, Chase, wherever. It could even be in an online bank. It doesn't matter. If they offer a high yield savings account, even better. But just that's the first step. You need somewhere where you can store your money, save it, and make some a little bit of interest on top, and use it. Actually start to learn the process of what it is, how banking works, how numbers work, and start adding those numbers up in your bank account. Step number 2 would be to start working on your credit. So you could either get a loan from somewhere or get a credit card. My recommendation would be to get one from wherever you're banking, Wells Fargo, Chase. Get a credit card from them. If they don't want to give you one, usually they offer secured credit cards where you're gonna have to deposit, give them upfront, let's say $300. I'll use that as an example, and they're gonna provide you a credit card that has a $300 limit. And if you don't pay that back, they'll usually keep your $300, and that would be one way to get a credit card. If you're lucky, they won't even ask you for anything. They'll just, you know, give you a credit card like with a little bit limit. As soon as I turned 18, that's the first thing I did. I got my first credit card, and I got it for $500. And what you want to do is, you know, you want to use this credit card, you know, put gas in your car. If you drive, you know, buy stuff, you actually want to be using this credit card. And before the month ends, before the next billing cycle, you want to pay this in full. You don't want to leave any balance, because we do not want to pay any interest on these credit cards. You know, credit cards, interest, they charge a lot of interest. You know, some of these are over 20%, 25, 30%. So that's another topic that we can get. If you guys want, we could discuss this some other time. But now just get your credit card, use it, and pay it off every month, and do not get into debt. The third step would be to start, you know, generating some kind of income for yourself. You know, either start getting a job at a local grocery store, McDonald's, Jack in the Box. You know, if you have a car, maybe DoorDash. One of my first jobs was at a Boost Mobile, and I was getting paid minimum wage. I think I was getting paid like $8 an hour. And I used to sell phones, and I was 18. I was making some money, and that's how I was able to start generating some money for myself, you know, to buy myself stuff here and there and start saving some money. But it can be anything you guys want. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly that, but just, you know, let's just start getting a job. You know, get a job so we can make some money, some income, and actually start building, putting away some for our future. Step number 4, and this is very crucial, because you do not want debt at all. Stay away from debt. Run away from it. Do not get into any kind of debt. See, you're barely starting life, and that's the worst thing you want to do. You don't want to chain yourself to any kind of debt. You want to be able to run freely through life. And if you're already jumping into debt as soon as you turn 18, you're already starting at the bad foot. So don't get any brand new cars. Stay away from them. Drive your mom's used minivan. Who cares? Don't. You can use your credit cards, but don't get balances on them. Stay away from anything like that. Step number 5 will be to start investing in your future for your retirement. You want to start as early as you can. You want to open up a Roth IRA, or if your job offers a 401k, go ahead and open up that and have them match it. You want to go ahead and do that, because right now you might not have a lot of money, but you do have a lot of time. So you have time in your favor. That's where you're rich. That's where you are actually rich, time. And that gives you a lot of time for your money to compound and grow over time, and even up the rough patches of the market where the market may come down a bit, but it will always eventually recover. Step number 6 is going to be, I want to say, key to almost everything, because you want to live below your means. As an 18-year-old, when I was an 18-year-old, let's be honest, you wanted to impress the ladies, you wanted to impress your buddy over here. Let's try not to do that. Let's try not to impress anybody. Just start stacking your money. That's what you should really be doing. Start saving for your future, for your future family. Step number 7 will be to actually start making some serious money with your job. If you're planning to go to college, make sure what you're going to college, your college degree is actually going to pay you some good money. Make sure that college degree can't be easily replaced by anybody. And if you're not trying to go to college, if you're like, what, school isn't for me, try to learn a skill, some kind of trade, construction. I'm a painter myself, but there's always like truck driving if you don't want to get your hands dirty, a mechanic, I don't know, something. But try to do something that takes technical skills. And now with AI that's coming up, a lot of people are scared that AI might be replacing their jobs, their office jobs. Trades are set to boom right now. So if trade it's where you want to be, an electrician, a plumber, those are the next millionaires of this century, man. So yeah, guys, so just to reiterate this, you do not, as an 18-year-old, this is the stuff that you do not want to do. You do not want to waste your money partying every weekend, with your buddies, even though you shouldn't be even drinking. You're barely 18. You do not want to finance a car, a nice BMW, a nice little sports car, to whip around and impress the ladies. That's something you don't want to do. If you can't buy it cash, don't do it. If you can afford it, go ahead. I have no problem with that. But as soon as you start to finance things, that's where you're crossing the line. So, and then also this comes along with credit cards. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation where you're drowning yourself in debt. And the third thing is to don't ignore your credit. Actually, pay attention to your credit. Your credit will help you a lot in life in the down the line in the future. It might not seem like it right now. You're like, these are a couple numbers, on the screen. What do they mean? But they will dictate how much you will pay in interest when it comes to buying a big purchase, for example, a house, a car, maybe down the line when you can actually afford it. A couple points can make the difference of a couple $100,000 or a couple $100,000. You know, it makes a big difference. The system rewards good borrowers, good people who are responsible with their money. Now that's gonna be it for today's video. I wanted to keep it short and just get these points out there for my 18-year-olds who are just turning 18, and just give them some motivation in life and some financial guidance. That way they're not walking through life, you know, blind. If this is one of you, you know, consider subscribing. I make tons of videos about money and life and situations that happened to me. I'm a painter. I run a Turo business myself. I make some money on the side. I'm a side hustler. So if you like that kind of content, consider subscribing. And yeah, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.